Um, as an entrepreneur and running my own business trying to run my own business for 15 years, the idea that you get paid when you don't go to work is...
It's strange.
Yeah, there's something not quite right about it in the back of my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if I make a contract with somebody to work for them, then I have a great responsibility to fulfill that. And however I feel about it, well, that's different from the responsibility of the contract. Just because you feel bad doesn't disconnect you from your obligation. It doesn't. You know, it doesn't say in your contract, I will go to work unless I feel bad. It doesn't say that, right? So there's definitely something strange about it in this part of the world. It's a hangover from communism, where work didn't matter to people. You know, when I went to school, if you missed 2 days of school, the school sends the police to your home to check you. Yeah. Yeah. Now, to be honest, I don't really agree with this, but it exists. So let's not ignore it, because it's a real thing. It exists. When I came to Slovakia and I found that I had students that I didn't see for a week or 2 weeks because they were ill. Yeah. What that meant to me was, I thought they were dead, to be honest. That my first thought was, oh my God, they're dying. Yeah. That was because if you like miss a week, I mean that's a hell of a lot of productive time. I mean, how many weeks in a year? It's like I mean, what are you missing in terms of productive? That's a 1% or something. I don't know. 1%, maybe more, 2% productive time when you miss a week of work. The business doesn't stop. You know, the business doesn't stop because businesses are like zombies, right? The business never sleeps. Just keep moving. So the business is like a zombie, and the employee's job is to feed the zombie, right? To keep it moving forward. And when I say business is a zombie, it's true, because a corporation is a corpse, which means dead body. So also in the modern world, there's no reason why you cannot still be productive wherever you are. Right? I don't get that. I mean, like I've been ill. Like I was ill for a couple of days last year, and I was in bed, but I had my computer in bed, and my Skype in bed, and I was working from bed because you can. I mean, and as I said earlier, what do you do when you're? No, I'm sick. What are you doing when you're sick? You're just sitting. Are you watching TV? Are you sleeping? Are you? What are you doing? Because the single best way to get healthy is to start planning for what you're going to do the moment you're healthy. That's the single best way to get healthy. So it's like, okay, I'm not healthy now. How much time do I need to get healthy? 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Okay, what am I going to do now that it's going to have this series of processes? People being ill for 1 week, that's serious. That would never happen in Britain. And 2 weeks, I mean, that you'd probably lose your job in Britain if you were sick for 2 weeks. You'd be out because there would be... Because if the company can function for 2 weeks without you, what is your special purpose in rolling in? You know, what makes you so unique that you need to be here? Pareto principle. We're back to the Pareto principle, right? 80-20. Right? 20% of the people provide 80% of the profits or 80% of the results. If you're one of the 80% and you're not, and you're contributing less, and then you start to contribute even less, then you become useless. Now, we all feel sorry for people when they get sick, and that's okay, and crazy, stupid shit happens. I don't know, car accidents or whatever, and so there are things that make life difficult, but so people stop and they give up. They just stop and they give up, and I'm just going to wait until I'm better. What? That philosophy means that you'll never be better, because maybe from the age of 40 maybe from the age of 30 your health is going downhill for the rest of your life, right? Slowly, but that's the way it goes. They go to the doctor and I have a paper from my doctor. It's like, what's the problem? Oh, I don't know. Take these pills. There are some situations where you sort of understand. It's like, well, the employee who has a really bad flu and doesn't want to get other people sick or something. But that's 2 days, right? You have a temperature for 2 days and then you're sort of back to normal. Look, if you've got a problem with your back, you should be in a fucking wheelchair. I mean, my opinions are very strong about these things because I've seen people with problems, I've seen people without problems, and if you do what you can, come in for 1 hour. Why should I go? Just come in for an hour. Show some respect to the company. And if you were in Japan, do you think you'd get away with that in Japan? I mean, Japan with that sort of company-orientated philosophy. People will go to work and then the next day they will bury them, right? So yeah, there's something wrong. If you've got a problem with your back, come in for an hour, come in for a morning, do a half day, show us something, yeah. But I'm ill. Maybe we're all ill. Maybe we're all carrying some kind of problem with us, right? I don't really understand this. I'm ill, so I don't have to work. This is like, what? I don't have to work. Okay, can you eat? Yes. Okay, can you drink? Yes. Okay. Can you put your clothes on? Yeah. Okay. I broke 2 ribs and I was working. Get up and go to work.
It's about responsibility.
Yeah, I broke 2 ribs, and it meant that if there was something on the floor, I couldn't pick it up. Right? It's like you move like you move like a robot because you can't twist anything, right? And people are like, oh, you should be at home and lying in bed. And well, first of all, when you've got broken ribs, lying down is actually not fantastically comfortable. And then if you're doing nothing, that cannot really be positive for you. Do something. My philosophy is if I'm sick or not 100%, and I can do more than people who are 100%, there's no way I'm going to lose. There's no way I can possibly lose if I can do as much when I'm sick as other people can do when they're healthy. Because I'm just, as other people fall over, I'm going to be like, bye-bye. Yeah. And I think some people want to fall over. Mm-hmm. Just, because you go where you want to go. You go where, it's like if you're not at work, it's because you don't want to be there. There's that, like, okay, I've got the flu and I don't want to make other people sick and spread germs and okay. Right. I get it. And then there's work-related illness and lifestyle-related illness. Yeah. So say you have got a job and you get injured as part of your job. So we have to do the best we can to look after the employees. However, the employees take that risk when they take the job. If you're an adult and you don't know how to pick up a box, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, childhood finished, at the age of 12 or 13, right? So if you're in a job that has some kind of repetitive stress, you work to manage it. You work around it. If you're off work because you fell off a mountain because you were rock climbing at the weekend, I don't see why you should still have your job, to be honest. Because if you're going to do an activity at the weekend which could risk your life, and you take the responsibility to be at work on Monday, and you can't be at work on Monday because you did this dangerous activity, I like, wow, why should you even have a job? People have it too easy. A lot of people have it too easy. It's too easy for them to not feel any consequences for their actions. Well, I'll just do this. But there's a consequence. Well, I'm not really responsible for it. Well, we all are kind of responsible. I lost my job because blah, blah, blah. How many times I've heard that? I lost my job because blah, 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 blah. And, well, really you lost your job because you didn't provide enough value in that situation. And you put yourself in that situation. I can't feel... Oh, my boss was a psycho. Well, you had the choice not to work for these people. You can always walk away. Yes, but sometimes you take the hit now so that you don't take the bigger hit later on. Right? The boxer. The first couple of rounds, they're looking. And they're getting hit. They're taking the hits to see what the other person's got. And sometimes you have to take the hits in the early round so that you're ready for what's going to come later. And people don't respect the opportunities they get to actually do something. And I really don't sort of understand that kind of mentality, which is just, well, and I know a lot of people like that. I think I'm specifically thinking of one person, two people I know who work in Tatra Banka right now, who I've been working with. And they're intelligent and they're good at their job. But it's just it's like the job is almost a joke for them, right? For one of them, it's something to do so that he can have a break from his family, and the other one, it's like it's a way to get money to buy more computer games. Yeah, I mean, where's the risk there? I was watching NASCAR with my son last night, and I like watching NASCAR because it's very interesting to watch crazy people. Because you have to understand, these people are completely crazy. And I think you can learn a lot if you respect the difficulty, or the level of difficulty, or the level of danger even in another person's activity. And so we were watching the cars crash and then crash again and then crash again, and it's like, wow, every day these guys get in a car and they go out and they drive 200 miles per hour for hours and hours and hours. And they don't just have like one race a week, you know. Sometimes they have like it's like 5 races a week or something they do. And every time they go out, they could die. Every single time they go out, they could die. And you know, there's a big stadium of people going, yeah. Meanwhile, down on the track, there's this guy in a car for like 3 hours. Yeah. Irrational. Yeah, from your perspective, yes, but you know, from the psychological perspective, the only way to approach that sport is you're already dead. That's how you have to imagine it. You're already dead. Because, I mean, you make big money because it takes a 1/10 of a second to die, and there's nothing you can do. And you have to, and so these people, irrational, yeah, crazy, absolutely, but these people get my respect because they're putting it on the line every time. There's no room for error. There's no room for, I don't feel like it today. I don't feel like it today. I just don't feel like having sex. You're my wife, for God's sake. Right? It doesn't feel good. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like there's just these things that have to be done, right? Whether you like it or not. So I was watching it with my son, and my son is going, Dad, they could die. Yep. Yep, and they do. and they do. And so I've been following it for a couple of weeks now because I'm interested in the psychology of it. And last year, in the first race of the season, there was a crash, and this guy broke his leg in the crash. And so he was, obviously you can't drive with the broken limits, right? You can't drive with the broken leg, but I mean, just like he was following the team around, and he was with the pit crew, and he was helping out, and broken leg, right? And he wasn't sitting at home doing nothing, right? And he was working at strategies with the team, and so he was at home he wasn't racing for about 2.5 months, or 3 months. After 3 months, he came back to the competition. And he won the whole series. He won the whole series. At the beginning, he started in the first race of the year, he broke his leg. Like the worst possible start you could possibly have. And he came back and he won the whole series. And they think about an employee being sick, right? When they come back from being sick, do they work extra hard to make up for the loss? We've talked about this before. They don't, do they? They don't. Yeah, it's funny. They go back to doing what they did before, with no understanding that there's this period of nothing that existed, where other people had to cover their work, or there were other problems, or don't know what to do about something. And working with people is always the most difficult job. You're working with machines is fine, because you can open the window and throw the computer out. Fuck it. Right? But you can't open the window and throw the employees out. we have to have more respect for people than that. Yeah, okay. But if you don't want to get thrown out the window, right? I mean, certain things that you need to do to make sure you're not put in that position. And I know what it is I wanted to say. So somebody gets fired from their job, like or somebody loses their job. I got fired. That's how I started my school. I got fired. I was working for a school, and the director of the school called me and said, "I'm not very happy with your work, and I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I'm not going to employ you." And I was, "Thank you. Okay, I'm gone, right? I'm gone." And I'm like, okay, I can do this myself. I don't know. So I didn't stop and, cry into my beer and think my life was over. I was like, okay, change of direction. let's the secret art of taking the negative and turning it into a positive. Okay, I broke my leg, so what can I learn where I can use my brain to help the company? I mean, is there something wrong with me? I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, if I broke my leg and I couldn't physically get into an office somewhere, I'd be online, I'd be Skyping with people, I'd be learning as much about the company as possible, I would be organizing the data and information, I'd be calling people and asking people if they needed help, how can I help them, how can I support them, what can I do? I'd be designing a system for the company so that if anybody else got sick or ill, then they could use that system so that they could still work. Because if you're not here, you're not here. Right? Look, it's a nice space. It's a nice place for you to come and work. Come and do something. Even if you need to, like, what was it? Queen's last. I'm having a big monologue today. I'm sorry. I'll finish in 30 seconds. Must be the drugs. So, Queen's last video. What was it? The Days of Our Lives. Mm-hmm. The last music video made by the band Queen. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen it? You don't know. Oh, like Freddie Mercury looks like he's dead already, right? He's like, he looks dead, right? You know, he got up and went to this. He got up and went and recorded the video, even though he was dying. He couldn't move. He had to be wheeled in a wheelchair. He had to get people to hold him up. Right? He had to take these. He could only stand for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then he had to get people to carry him to a bed, and he had to lie down for a couple of hours. And then people carried him back to the video camera, and he continued filming. Right? You've got a responsibility. As insane as it is, you've got a responsibility. Your responsibility to your band. You've got a responsibility to the people around about you, the people who have invested time, money, energy in you. You have to do what you can. And you can... And then after they made the video, it's like they didn't know what to do with it because Freddie Mercury looked so sick. And or I was reading a story that the guitarist was saying the last time that they were in the studio, which they didn't know was the last time because they thought every time was the last time. So that's how you had to look at it. You had to look at it for a period of 2 or 3 years, that every time could be the last time. and he said the last time that he said Freddie Mercury was so sick he couldn't even stand, and he was being wheeled around in a wheelchair, and he was saying to the people, just write down anything, whatever's in your head, write down anything, and I'll go into this. Give me a mic, and I'll go into the studio and I'll sing it, just so that you have something that you can work with. Right. So when I hear about people missing large amounts of work, I have very little respect for them in that kind of situation, because I think you have a responsibility as an employee to be there for the people who are there for you. The company provides money for your life. This is paying for everything. I mean, you've got to realize how important that is. You've got to realize that it's paying for your electricity, your water, your food, your health insurance, your transportation, your entertainment. You've got to realize how important that is. You've got to realize if you invest now, it will come back in the future. Like when there is an economically hard time and people have to go from the company, the boss is going to look at the list of people who are effective and who have done something extra, who've done something, and they stay. And the rest just go. All these people that got comfortable with middle management positions in 2001 before the terrorist attacks, right? Then all lost their jobs, right? Because there was a large economic downturn after September 2001. And across Western Europe in big businesses, lots of people were just fired. It's just like the whole economic restructuring of everything. All these people gone. And I know because my cousin was one of those people. And the people who stayed were the people who did the extra work. They went the extra mile. They did more. And there's always more. There's always something better that you can do. And an employee needs to come to me with a very, very good reason for something not being the way that it should be. Because of the excuses. We're all so perfect at these, well, you see, I couldn't do it because my neighbor's donkey fell on my dog, and then I had to take the dog to the vet, and then on the way from the vet, the dog escaped, and it ate somebody's cat, and then the police came. And so, oh, for God's sake, it's a joke, right? I mean, it's a story, which is completely irrelevant.